Hello again. In this video, we're talking about how to use substitute and simplify expressions when plugging in variables. Now, we have ourselves x squared minus 3x plus 4 all multiplied by x minus 2, and we're doing that when x is equal to 6. Now, that is what we're going to be plugging in. What we're going to be plugging in is the number 6 everywhere we see in x. And so this x right here is going to be a 6. That means when it's x squared is going to become 6 squared. And then right here next to the 3 is going to be a 6. Now that is going to be 3 times x. Even though that multiplication isn't written, that's still there. So that is going to turn into 3 times 6. So let's go ahead and write it out. We have our 6, I'll try to match the colors here, squared minus 3. I'm going to have to represent that multiplication here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with parentheses. You could have done it with a dot or any multiplication sign. I just chose parentheses off of a whimsy. And then I'm going to do plus 4 times 6 minus 2. Now notice that 6 was plugged in everywhere that x was, including this spot here that I forgot to emphasize when I was talking about all my x's earlier. So let's go ahead and actually simplify that now. To simplify that, we are just following the order of operations, which can happen in any order as long as you're following the directions. And so this 4 is being multiplied right here to both the 6 and the 2, but the 4 cannot just multiply by 6. It has to multiply by the 6 and the 2. And so if we want to multiply by 4 first, we absolutely can. Is that the easiest thing to do? I would advocate no. So rather than multiply by that 4 first, instead, let's go ahead and do the 6 minus 2 first. We know what 6 minus 2 is. 6 minus 2 is 4. So we end up with 4 times 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other multiplications we have. We have here 3 times 6. Well, 3 times 6 is 18, which is great. But notice that that negative was still out in front. That negative is still there because that would technically be a negative 3 times 6, which makes that a negative 18 after everything's done. And then last but not least, we have this 6 squared up front. Well, when we see that exponent, that means repeated multiplication. 6 times 6 is 36. So we'll go ahead and scroll down here just a smidge. And now let's go ahead and take care of this last step multiplication. 4 times 4 is 16, so we have 16. That's being added to this negative 18, which is being subtracted from this positive 36. So ladies and gentlemen, we have 36 minus 18 plus 16. So let's go ahead and take it in order. Negative 18 plus 16, well that really is just subtraction. Negative 18 plus 16 is a negative 2. So we have 36 minus 2, which is 34. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you tackle this problem, you're doing the exact same steps. And when I say that, I don't mean you're going to be looking at your multiplication, subtraction, addition, like I did in this problem. You're going to be following the directions that the problem has written for you. So anywhere you see that negative, you're going to subtract. Anywhere you see that parenthesis, odds are you're going to be multiplying unless there is another symbol written there. So good luck. Just remember to plug in your variable to everywhere the variable is, and you should be in good shape. Thank you, guys.